Have you ever woken up one morning and felt different? Not sick, not tired, just different. You stretch, and there's that faint stiffness in your shoulders that wasn't there before. The mirror shows the same face, but the eyes, they tell another story. Maybe you've noticed you don't spring out of bed quite as fast, or the stairs that used to feel easy now feel like a small hill. And maybe, just maybe, you've brushed it off. You tell yourself, it's fine, I'm just getting older. But deep down, something whispers, is this how it begins? Or perhaps you've seen it happen to someone you love. Your father, once full of energy, suddenly needs a hand standing up. Your mother, who never forgot a birthday, now mixes up dates. You tell yourself it's nothing. But part of you knows, something is changing. Slowly. Quietly. These little moments? They're not random. They're not just getting old. They're messages, subtle signs your body and mind send when they've crossed a new threshold. And understanding those messages early can make all the difference. It can mean the difference between living fully and silently declining without even realizing it. Turning 60 isn't just another birthday, it's a turning point. Your body starts speaking in a new language, and if you learn to listen, you can give yourself years of strength, clarity, and peace. But if you ignore it, well, that's where the real danger lies. So today, let's talk about it, honestly, simply, and from the heart. In this video, we'll uncover the 5 things that happen once you hit 60, whether you like it or not. Even if you eat well, even if you exercise, even if you feel young at heart. These changes come for everyone. But here's the good news, once you understand them, you can work with your body, not against it. By the end of this video, you'll know how to recognize each of these 5 signs early and handle them gracefully, so your 60s and beyond can be your strongest, wisest years yet. Now, before we begin, I want to hear from you. Comment below and say, I'm here, if you want to stay active, alert, and full of life after 60. And if you care about aging well, with dignity, strength, and understanding, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This is Senior Health Wisdom, where we turn knowledge into care, and where growing older isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. Now, let's start with the first change, one that almost everyone over 60 feels, even if they don't notice it right away. Now, let's start with the first change, one that almost everyone over 60 feels, even if they don't notice it right away. Think of a man named George. He's 62, retired just a few years ago. Every morning, he laces up his shoes and goes for a light jog, just like he's done for decades. He still eats the same breakfast, oatmeal, fruit, maybe a bit of toast. But lately, something's been bothering him. The numbers on the scale keep climbing, his favorite shirts fit a little tighter, and he can't understand why. He's thinking, I'm eating the same things, doing the same exercises, so what's going on? Sound familiar? Maybe it's happening to you. What George doesn't realize is that his body has quietly shifted gears. Once you cross 60, your metabolism, that inner engine that burns calories and keeps your energy steady, begins to slow down. It's not sudden, and it's not your fault. It's nature. As we age, we start losing muscle mass, and muscle is the body's main calorie burner. Less muscle means fewer calories burned, even when you're resting. At the same time, hormones like testosterone and estrogen, which play big roles in metabolism, begin to decline. It's like your body's internal furnace starts burning on low heat. And here's the tricky part, this change happens so gradually that most people don't even notice it until it's already affecting them. You might start feeling heavier, more sluggish, or find it harder to recover after a walk or workout. Now, many people think the solution is to eat less. They cut meals, skip breakfast, or live on tiny portions. But that's where most go wrong. Eating too little actually tells your body to hold on to fat and let go of muscle, which makes the problem worse. The goal isn't to eat less, it's to eat smarter. Your body after 60 needs steady fuel. Small, frequent meals with lean protein, eggs, beans, chicken, or fish, can keep your metabolism humming. Add in gentle resistance training, like light weights or simple body exercises. You don't have to join a gym, even lifting light household items can make a difference. It's about working with your body, not fighting against it. So, if you've been feeling like your body's slowing down, don't panic. This isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign of transition. A reminder that your body is evolving, and you can evolve with it. Because once you understand how your metabolism changes, you stop blaming yourself, and start taking charge. But the body isn't the only thing that slows down as the years go by, sometimes, the mind does too. And that brings us to the next sign. Picture Maria. She's a retired teacher, 64 years old. She spent decades shaping young minds, grading papers, remembering hundreds of names, and managing her classroom with precision. But lately, things have started to slip. She walks into a room and forgets why she's there. She'll start a story and lose her train of thought halfway through. Sometimes she forgets the name of a former student who once visited her every Christmas. Her family laughs it off, saying, "Oh, Mom, that's just age catching up." And maybe you've heard that before. Maybe you've even said it yourself. But let me ask you this, is it really just age? You see, as we cross into our 60s, the brain begins to change just like the rest of the body. The neurons, those little messengers that carry thoughts, memories, and ideas, start to slow down. The signals take a bit longer to travel. The sharpness that once felt automatic now requires a little more focus, a little more effort. But here's something most people don't know, not every memory slip is a sign of decline. In fact, many of them are signals of something else entirely: stress, dehydration, or poor sleep. When you're not resting well, your brain doesn't have time to file your thoughts properly. Think of your mind like a library. If the librarian is exhausted, books end up misplaced, and it takes longer to find what you're looking for. Now, this part is important. Forgetting something occasionally doesn't mean you're losing your mind. It means your brain, like your body, needs care and exercise. But because society often fears memory loss, many people panic. They think, "Oh no, is this the beginning of dementia?" and that fear alone can make it worse. Let's clear that up. Memory changes are normal. Your brain isn't breaking down, it's adapting. It's rewiring itself for a slower, more reflective pace. But here's the beauty of it, your brain can still grow, even now. It's called neuroplasticity, your mind's ability to form new connections no matter your age. So what can you do? Keep your mind moving. Read. Write. Try puzzles, word games, or even learn something completely new, a language, a craft, a recipe, or a musical instrument. When you challenge your brain, you're not just entertaining it, you're strengthening it. And don't underestimate the power of conversation. Talking, sharing stories, and laughing with others keeps your brain alert and alive. Isolation dulls the mind, but connection sharpens it. So the next time you misplace your keys or forget a name, don't scold yourself. Just pause, breathe, and remember, your brain is working differently now, not worse. Treat it with patience, the same way you treat a dear friend who's trying their best. Still, even with a healthy, active mind, there's something else that catches almost everyone off guard as they grow older. Something that touches your nights, your mornings, and your mood. Have you ever noticed how older adults seem to rise before the sun? Maybe it's your father who's already sipping tea by 5 a.m., or your neighbor who swears he doesn't need an alarm clock anymore. My neighbor, Mr. Adams, once laughed and told me, "My body has its own alarm clock now, I can't sleep past dawn even if I try." And maybe you've experienced it too, you fall asleep just fine, but then, around 2 or 3 in the morning, your eyes open, and no matter how tired you are, you just can't get back to sleep. Or maybe you lie awake for hours before finally drifting off, only to wake up feeling like you never rested at all. It's confusing, isn't it? You're doing everything right, going to bed early, eating light dinners, cutting down on caffeine, and yet, your nights feel longer, your rest feels shorter, and your mornings feel heavier. Here's what's really happening. As we age, our bodies produce less melatonin. That's the natural hormone that regulates sleep. It's like the body's sleep switch. When melatonin drops, the switch doesn't flip as easily. At the same time, your circadian rhythm, your internal clock that tells your body when it's time to rest, starts to shift. You might feel sleepy earlier in the evening and wake up much earlier in the morning. And there's another piece most people don't talk about: the stages of your sleep change too. When you were younger, your body spent more time in deep, restorative sleep, the kind that repairs muscles and clears your mind. After 60, those deep sleep stages become shorter, replaced by lighter sleep that's easier to interrupt. That's why every little sound, every passing thought, can wake you up. Now, here's where many people misunderstand. They think, well, maybe my body just doesn't need as much sleep anymore. But that's not true. Your body still needs rest, it just experiences it differently. You may not sleep 8 hours straight, but you still need enough restful time overall to help your brain recover and your body recharge. The danger comes when people accept poor sleep as normal. They push through their days on exhaustion, drink more coffee to stay awake, or nap too much during the day, and that ends up making nighttime sleep even harder. So what can you do? Start simple. Respect your sleep routine. Your brain loves patterns, even in your 60s. Try dimming the lights an hour before bed. It signals to your body that it's time to wind down. Avoid screens. The blue light tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Instead, listen to calming music, read a few pages of a book, or sip a warm cup of herbal tea. A gentle stretch or a few deep breaths before bed can also help release the tension that builds up throughout the day. And if you wake up in the middle of the night, don't fight it. Don't reach for your phone or stare at the ceiling in frustration. Just breathe, stay calm, and let your body find its way back to rest. Remember, it's not about forcing sleep, it's about inviting it. And here's something else worth noting: better sleep doesn't just affect how you feel the next day. It impacts your memory, your mood, your energy, even your appetite. When your nights improve, your days get better too. So if your sleep has changed, don't be alarmed. Don't label it as just old age. See it as your body adjusting to a new rhythm, a quieter, slower, but still powerful one. With a few small habits, you can teach it to rest again, naturally and deeply. But even with good rest, there's another change that sneaks in, one that isn't about the body or even the mind. It's something deeper, something emotional. And it's a change that touches nearly everyone sooner or later. Imagine sitting in a quiet house where every clock tick feels louder. Your children are grown, your spouse might be gone, and suddenly, silence has weight. There's a kind of stillness that sneaks up in later life. It's not just the quiet of a room, it's the quiet inside the heart. The laughter that once filled the evenings fades. Phone calls become less frequent. Days blend into one another. And in that silence, emotions begin to echo. For many older adults, this isn't weakness, it's biology. Hormonal changes, especially in serotonin and oxytocin levels, affect how emotions are processed. The body that once could shrug off small disappointments now feels them deeper. The same heart that was once too busy for reflection now feels every memory like a soft bruise. You see, emotional sensitivity in aging is not fragility, it's a signal. The brain's chemical balance changes. Social circles shrink. The world seems to move faster, while the self moves slower. That gap creates vulnerability. A simple act of being left out can feel like rejection. A quiet dinner can feel like loss. And loneliness, that's a silent storm. It doesn't show up on a blood test, but it changes everything. Scientists have discovered that chronic loneliness activates the same stress pathways as physical pain. It increases cortisol, weakens immunity, and even heightens the risk of heart disease. It's not just sadness, it's a biological stress signal. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think loneliness means being alone. It doesn't. You can be surrounded by people and still feel unseen. True loneliness is the absence of emotional connection, that feeling that no one truly gets you anymore. Yet, here's the hopeful truth: human connection heals. Every conversation, every shared laugh, every small gesture of care rewires the brain. When you talk, listen, or simply sit beside someone who understands, oxytocin rises. Blood pressure stabilizes. The body begins to relax, as if saying, "I belong again." That's why one of the most powerful prescriptions for aging well isn't found in a pill, it's found in people. Join a community program. Volunteer at a local center. Take a walk with a neighbor. Call an old friend you haven't spoken to in years. The heart doesn't need perfection, it needs presence. Loneliness fades when purpose returns. Even helping one person can refill the emptiness that time leaves behind. And while the heart craves connection, the body sends one last unmistakable sign, a signal that something deeper, physical, and more urgent is shifting inside. Remember when a small bruise or a twisted ankle healed in days? After 60, the same injury can linger for weeks. Even small colds feel harder to shake. The body that once felt invincible now whispers reminders of time. You notice it in the mornings, the stiffness in the joints, the slower rise from bed, the quiet ache that doesn't vanish overnight. It's not weakness. It's change, the kind that comes with wisdom and years lived deeply. Inside the body, circulation begins to slow. The cells that once renewed rapidly now take their time. Collagen production drops. Muscle fibers repair more slowly. Even a minor cut becomes a longer story. From swelling to healing, each phase stretches a little more than it used to. The immune system, once quick to guard and recover, starts working like an older, wiser soldier, experienced, but slower to respond. White blood cells still fight, but they take longer to arrive. That's why a cold lingers, why fatigue lasts, and why even small setbacks feel bigger than before. Yet, here lies one of the greatest misconceptions: people often ignore the signs. They say, "I'll be fine," pushing through pain or skipping rest. But with age, the margin for neglect shrinks. Ignoring that swelling knee or that persistent cough can turn a small issue into something lasting. Healing requires respect, not haste. Think of your body like a lifelong companion. It's carried you through every challenge, every joy, every heartbreak. Now, it asks for care in return. Hydration becomes essential. A balanced diet rich in protein, fiber, and antioxidants fuels repair. Gentle movement, walks, stretches, or Tai Chi, keeps blood flowing and joints supple. And above all, rest becomes your new medicine. Recovery is no longer about speed. It's about consistency. It's about listening when your body whispers, so it doesn't have to shout. When you rest with intention, eat with awareness, and move with purpose, your body learns to heal smarter, not just faster. And here's the beautiful part: awareness replaces fear. When you understand all 5 signs, the changes in appetite, movement, sleep, emotion, and recovery, aging stops being something to dread. It becomes something to navigate. Each sign isn't a warning, it's a language. A way your body communicates its needs. And when you listen, you discover that aging isn't about decline, it's about alignment. It's about adapting with grace, with knowledge, and with the quiet confidence that every stage of life still holds purpose. Because in the end, the goal isn't to live forever, it's to live well, right here, right now, in the body that has carried you through it all. Watching your body or your loved one's body change can be painful. It's not just physical, it's deeply emotional. For many, the hardest part of aging isn't the slower pace or the wrinkles in the mirror, it's the quiet acceptance that life is shifting. You start to see your reflection differently. You begin to realize how much your body has carried you through, the work, the laughter, the children, the sleepless nights, the tears that shaped who you are. And somewhere deep down, a question arises: am I still the same person? Yes, you are. Because aging isn't the end, it's evolution. Each change, each wrinkle, each slower step is a story written by time. A sign of resilience. Proof that your body has shown up for you, every single day, for decades. When we reframe aging not as decline, but as transformation, everything changes. You stop fighting your reflection and start honoring it. You stop mourning youth and start embracing wisdom. Because a life well lived leaves traces, not scars. So, today, take 5 minutes to check in on someone over 60. Ask how they've been feeling. Ask about the things they miss, the things that make them smile, the stories they've never told. That simple act of connection might mean more than you realize. It could remind someone that they're still seen, still valued, still loved. Because aging isn't about disappearing, it's about being witnessed. And when love meets awareness, something beautiful happens, dignity returns. There's still laughter to be shared, lessons to be passed on, and love to be given. Aging gracefully begins with awareness and care. So if you're listening to this, remember, every sunrise you wake to is a gift. Every step, every smile, every breath is proof that your story isn't over, it's simply entering a gentler, wiser chapter. To recap, metabolism slows, memory shifts, sleep changes, emotions deepen, and recovery takes longer. Each one is part of the beautiful human journey after 60. These aren't signs of weakness, they're signs of living. The body changes because it has lived. It has carried joy, grief, love, loss, and countless stories that no young body could ever understand. So wear your years like medals. Each one is proof that you've survived, adapted, and continued. And now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these signs have you noticed in yourself or someone close to you? Share in the comments, your story might help someone else feel less alone. Because when one person speaks, 100 others find courage to do the same. And that's how awareness grows, through shared voices, through empathy, through community. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to Senior Health Wisdom, where we bring understanding and compassion to every stage of life. Remember, your story doesn't end when youth fades. It deepens. So take care of yourself, celebrate small victories, and never stop learning about your own body. It's the most loyal companion you'll ever have. Thank you for watching. Stay kind to yourself, stay informed, and remember, wisdom isn't about avoiding age, it's about embracing it. See you in the next one.